Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is April the 4th, 2025, and it's 7 o'clock p.m. Tonight I have a special guest, Tasha. I've been waiting to get her over here, and our schedule's finally lined up that we can have a little sit-in chat. Tasha, welcome to my channel.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
I am so glad you had the time to slip on with me before your live tonight. And I appreciate that. It gives us a chance to meet a little behind the scenes, and then my subscribers, maybe when we're done, they'll come over and visit you at your place.
Yeah, that'd be
We'll
fun.
see. So let me see. In my chat, I have the blue wave, is what I like to call it. All of my mods are blue. Um, Day's in the house. Michelle's in the house. Janine, hey, girl. My mouse just moved and I'm trying to read the chat. So wait till Joe gives it back to me. It's all right, but I'm trying to read. Guess who? Nancy's in the house. Hello, sweetheart. Pat. Hello. Donnell. And if I miss anybody in Quilt Fact, waiting with anticipation. Oh. Michelle, I've already said. I'm just skimming. Tosh just told everybody hello and welcome. Donnell's in the house. And more people will be coming in. Kathy, good evening, all. Have a great interview with Donna and Tasha lurking in the background while I hand stitch. Awesome. That sounds like so much fun. Joe wants to know, Debbie, where's Benny? Joe says he's back in the closet. So the distance, hey girl, I so miss you. You have to call me after my live if you get a chance. I need to get you in my books. And I have a couple questions about some quilt restorations for you. And you know who I'm talking to, Chris. Hi, everyone. Michelle Craft and more, and everybody. I get to stay up late tonight. Yes. Please don't forget to give the thumbs up. Awkward Quilter is in the house. Twyla is in the house. I'm just skimming. I miss you too. We've got to get together. Gigi, G Quilter, hello. Janet's in the house. Lynn is in the house. And Karen T. I'm going to skip there and I'll look for my friend Donna Bogarts. A few still coming in, so I'm going to just keep talking until everybody gets in the doorway.
Quite the crowd.
It's in here. It's so much fun to see everybody coming in tonight. I humbly appreciate each and every one of you. So let me see. Twyla, Priyanka, G Quilter. I like to tell everybody hello before I get busy chit-chatting with my guest. If anybody has any special questions tonight, please type them in the chat. Joe will highlight them, so I'll be sure to see them and ask. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty so we can all get to see a little bit more about Tasha. Tasha, knock, knock, where are you from?
I am from right outside of Syracuse, New York, one of the snowiest cities in the country, I believe.
Are you born and raised there?
Born and raised. I live literally 5 minutes from where I grew up. My dad's still right around the corner.
Have you ever moved away and come back, or is it just that's where you're at?
I went to college like a couple of hours away, but yeah, no, I've always just I'm a homebody all the way through and through. I like what I know.
You can't beat that.
No.
It's comfort. We
Yes.
stay in our comfort zone sometimes.
Yeah.
So let me see. Husbands, kids, pets. Can you tell me anything there?
Yeah, so I am married to my husband who, gosh, I think we've been married 11 years this year. Crazy.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Yeah, we're still putting up with, we still like each other even after having a couple kids and getting through the diapers and all that. We still like each other. So
Hey.
I have a 7-year-old son, a 5-year-old daughter, a dog, and 5 chickens. So that's where we're at.
Chickens. Are you like chicken mom for eggs or chicken moms for fill the freezer?
Eggs. We are right now, yeah, no plans for filling the freezer. We have them for eggs. Who knew that they would become such a commodity too when we first got into this last year. So,
That's crazy, isn't it?
yeah. So we bought a
But
house.
I bet the kids are learning a lot.
Yes, they are. And we bought this house back in 2019. I actually closed on the house the same day I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. What a day. And so we have about 7 acres. So we're like planting some fruit trees and we like to garden and well, I say we, but it's really my husband who does most of the
Right.
gardening. I just enjoy the labor of I just enjoy the effort of that. The fruits of his labor, there's the phrase. So
Right.
yeah.
That's so cool. So, like, say for your 9 to 5, what kind of career do you have?
So the easiest way to describe it is I'm an accountant. A little bit more detailed version of that is I work for a company that does business with the government. So we are considered a government contractor, and I am part of the department that makes sure that we're following all the special rules and regulations that comes with doing business with the government and handling all the auditors. So
Oh, you get all the fun stuff.
yeah,
Yay.
and this is my very busy time of year right now too. So I think right now I have a team of 5, including myself, and I think we're dealing with about 15 auditors right now. So we are outnumbered 3 to 1. So
Mm.
always a good time. Not
Oh.
stressful at all.
So what do you do for fun?
For
So
fun,
what does your husband do?
so he is a welder for our county, and so he also drives like so up here we obviously get a lot of snow and a lot of plow trucks. And if a plow truck breaks down or a plow truck goes off the road, he drives like the super big truck that pulls them out of the ditches. So and then he
Oh.
fixes equipment technically as a welder when he's not doing that.
Mm. So have you always been a quilter, or are you like one of us, the COVID quilter? You started during the pandemic.
I started back in 2015, so a little bit before. I actually never even really made too many masks back in COVID. I was too busy taking care of a baby. So, yeah, I was a
Yeah.
pre-COVID quilter.
Oh, wow. Whatever got you into quilting? Was it like family quilted before, or are you first generation quilter?
I am a first generation quilter. So, my mom used to sew a lot. She would make her scrubs. She's a nurse. And so she would make scrub tops and stuff. And then I want to say in like my early 20s, I started dabbling with I love bags. So I was like, I'm gonna learn to sew so I can make my own tote bags. And then I didn't really play around with that too much, work and life and stuff. But then back in 2015-ish, 2014-ish, right after we got married, I was like struggling with infertility and pregnancy loss and all that stuff. And my husband's like, you need to get out of this house. And just like every good adventure, it started with a Facebook post. And somebody I used to work with was like, I'm having this quilting club. And I was like, well, I have this $80 singer I got from Walmart. I can make a quilt. And I
Right.
showed up not knowing what to do, and that was it.
That's too cool. So
Yeah.
do you still belong to the quilt club?
So that COVID kind of crushed that quilt club, so it doesn't exist anymore. But am involved in 2 local quilt guilds, and some of the women that were part of that are in the quilt guild, so I
Oh,
still
how
message
cool.
them.
So
Yeah.
those friendships continue to
Yes,
grow?
for sure.
Well, you can't be that.
No.
If I missed anybody coming in, I'm sorry. If anyone has questions along the way tonight, please feel free to ask them in the chat. So, can you remember what your first quilt was and what drew you to that?
So the first quilt I did was actually, so I just showed up to that quilt club having no idea what entailed of a quilt. And
So
they were
you kind of
doing
like just went with your machine and a handful of fabric?
well, the first time I just showed up and was like, what do I even need? What do I need to do? And they're like, we're going to start a mystery quilt. So here's some paper. Go to the quilt shop. I didn't even know quilt shops existed. And they're like, there's one nearby where you live. Here, take this piece of paper to them and have them help you pick out fabric. So I took my little piece of paper for my mystery quilt and I uh,
Get out.
found
That
this
is
quilt
too
shop
cool.
and I like picked out some crazy colors. Like I remember it was like bright pink and bright yellow. And they were like, ooh, this thing's gonna glow in the dark. Are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, yep. Like I mean, you can see behind me, I still love my pinks and my funky
You're not
colors
afraid of
and
color.
not afraid of color. And so they were like, okay. And so actually I pieced all of the blocks back then. in 2015, and I didn't actually complete the quilt, I think, until like 2023. I finally finished putting it together.
Now, do you still have it?
It is hanging in my dining room.
No way.
Yeah.
I always say the first one's where you learn the most. And then
Yes.
after that, you're honing your skills.
It was a lot of flying geese, and to this day, if you have a flying geese in your pattern, I'll see you next time. Not for me.
Oh,
Maybe
so
I'll
you're
tackle
kind
it
of
again.
over the flying geese.
Yeah, that like I went
Janine's
from
in the
like,
chat and she's saying, oh, I love it that your first one was a mystery. Lynn asked if you kept your first one. Welcome, Heather, and I hope that you're feeling better. So let me see. Vibrant color seems to be your niche.
yeah, I love right now I'm all about the curvy quilts and bright colors.
The
Mostly
curves
pink.
are fun, are they not?
Oh,
So many people get afraid of the curves. Do
I
you love
can't.
them or not?
I love them. I love them so much. I can't stop. I'm actually
Yeah.
working on a quilt. I'm trying to like finish up my whips right now because I have way too many and I'm doing like half square triangles and I'm like, oh, I miss my curves. I don't like these triangles
Right. You
anymore.
get tired of doing the same thing.
Hmm.
And the challenge of a curve is amazing.
Yeah, I
You
love it.
know, so many people get scared. I can't get it to do the curve right. But if you're doing it right, it comes in every time.
Yep. And I don't, and I'm like, I'm not a perfectionist in any aspect of my life. Like, I think I'm like a type B personality, I would
Right.
say.
You'll
Like,
roll with it.
I roll with it. So if I get a pleat, I'm like, once it crinkles in the wash, it'll be like, I'm not even plucking them most of the time. I'm like, it'll be fine. No one will notice but me.
You're
So
too
I don't
cute.
get bothered by that.
I finished a whip today, Janine says.
It's a cute one too.
Oh, I'm glad you guys get to hang out. Yeah, whips are fun to finish when you finally get them done. It's like,
Yeah.
you know?
This one I
Yeah,
started that I'm working on right now. I started back in 2020. It was going to be for my daughter. Um, yeah, so we'll see. You know, if I finish it in 5 years, that's still pretty good. I mean, that's better. It took me like 8 years to finish my first quilt. So some of my whips
right.
can stand the test of time.
So if you could, like your first sewing area, was it like your table like most of us, or did you have your own room?
Was the
Tell
dining
me
room.
about your first setup. Bring me
So
back to the beginning of time with Tasha.
the beginning of time for me was, yeah, I literally had a like $80 Swinger sewing machine that I got from Walmart, and I was on my dining room table, and the I had moved in when I met my husband. He had owned a home, and so I moved in with him, and yeah, I took over the dining room. Eventually we had like a little spare room that he fixed up like good, and it was a very old house. That house we lived in was like from the 1920s. So um then he finished up a little like a little side room for me, and then when we moved to this house, it really upped my game. But yeah, I was back then I was using a machine on a dining room table with one of those mini ironing board. Like I didn't even have a full ironing board.
The
I
wee
had
little
a,
tiny table ones.
yep, little tiny
That's what
table
I did.
one and a creaky old chair, and yeah, just a
And
tote
you probably
bag.
felt like $1,000,000, didn't
Yeah,
you?
it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did the same. I had my dining room table, the old wooden chairs,
Mhm.
and I felt like I was on top of the world. I had all this to be
Yeah.
creative, and then
Yeah.
it blew up. Did
Yeah.
yours blow up?
When we were looking for houses, I was like, there's not an obvious sewing room here. Let's keep looking. And of course, it was like when the housing market was crazy. My husband's like, really? I'm like, really? Like, keep it moving until I
I
want a
need my
space.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now I have my own space.
absolutely. Day saying, Donna, you'd pull them out. Janine, that's a famous quilt. Congrats. Let me see. A girl after my own heart. Not a perfectionist here either. No, you're not.
I like it.
Lynn wants to know, do you long arm your own quilts or do you use your domestic?
So, for the most part, I do walking foot quilting on my machine. I did a very large quilt called Le Fin du Monde by Libs Elliott. It was like 80 by 96. That's big by my standards. That's the biggest quilt I ever did. And I did get that one long armed because I just can't even imagine
It would
shoving
have
that
beat
through
you
my
up.
sewing machine. So, just wasn't worth it for me. So that I have had one long armed, but for the most part, I do them myself.
Right. I wasn't a quilter when we bought this house 36 years ago now. and her room has exploded too. I think we all have. You start out with, I only need this little tiny table, and then I need this little tiny tote because we have to pack it away all the time.
Right.
And when we claim our space, it just,
Keeps going.
absolutely. So, what has been your do you have a specialty quilt that you just love to do? You would do over and over again in different waves, different colors, or do you like the FPPs? Do you have a favorite designer? I know I'm throwing a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
giving you an idea, tell me more.
So I am the type of person where I don't really see myself doing the same thing twice. I like to do it once. And I'm actually moving away now where I don't really like to do like a quilt that's the same block over and over again. I like more like medallion or, something that's different. I don't like the repetitive nature. But I will say that I am dabbling in it all right now. So I'm dabbling in English paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, and curved quilting, curved blocks when I get the chance. So I'm a dabbler. I don't like to do anything more than once, and I like to try everything. So that's
Right.
where I'm
I
at.
get it. I get it. What is your favorite of traditional FPP or EPP?
I
Do
would
you have
say
a preference?
right now, if I was like my favorite, absolute favorite thing to do would be like traditional on my machine chain piecing kind of thing. With the kit, like my second like alternative that I get to do most, like my favorite time of year is coming up. It's like almost springtime. Like sitting on my deck first thing in the morning, drinking a nice coffee with some English paper piecing in my hand, like that's hard to beat. I
You
love that.
can't beat that. And you live in the country, so I can imagine.
Yeah,
It's
send the kids out to
splendid.
play and stitch away.
Let me see, Donna, Tasha, how are you enjoying the FPP of the legit dragon? What?
I'm doing Skulliver, so
Oh, okay.
there's many. So
That's
I've
an easy
done,
one. I
yeah,
bet you
it's
love it.
the 1 star. I've completed one. You know how they like are 8.5. Well, you certainly know that they're
Yeah.
like 8.5, 11 pages. I've completed one page so far. So
What? I'm proud of you.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
shockingly doing the legit kits. I thought the hardest part would be the actual foundation paper piecing. But it was for me, I had the hardest time like putting like the sections together and getting it right.
Right.
Someone did suggest to me use a basting stitch next time. Like they weren't lining up
That's the way
exactly.
I do. If they don't line up to suit me, I pull the paper out of the seam. I'll talk to you when we're done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I pull the paper and put a pin in it and the seam will stretch. You manipulate it, it'll work.
Yeah, I seam ripped it 3 times, but I got it. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next one once I get some time.
Um, would wait a minute. Would quilting with a walking foot limit me to primarily straight line stitching? Yes, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, wow, if you like go out there on YouTube and you search straight like walking foot quilting, there's like people who do orange peel, like all kinds of things. I find it limiting because if your quilt is large, turning your quilt
You've only
is
got
tough.
so much space.
Right. So even though you're still using your walking foot, but for a smaller piece using your walking foot, you certainly would have a lot more options to come up with designs. I also like using a decorative stitch. So I recently did like a Christmas tree wall hanging, and I did like straight lines, and then I did like snowflakes as one of the lines. So I added just a little bit of
Right.
semblance to it.
And that's fun to do. I've
Hmm.
done that on my wall hangings. Let me see. I am. Do you have a favorite fabric designer?
So I'm kind of boring these days. Like I prefer solids. So I primarily like working with Kona cotton solids at the time. But I am like a Libs Elliott fangirl. I love Libs Elliott. I'm not sure. She's the one that kind of like I discovered Instagram and then at like 1 in the morning found her and she was doing this bloom along, which was a her quilt with the curves, and that's what
Right.
got me hooked. So I do use a lot of her fabrics too when I get the chance. She has some that read like solids and then some that are prints. And so I'm a
Oh,
Libs
you can't
Elliott
beat
fan.
that.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Let me see. Do you work on many projects at one time, or do you finish one and move on? How do you plan what you will do on a particular day of the week? Thank you,
So,
Lynn. Very good question.
yes, that is a great question. So I used to be working on one kind of project at a time. I recently have just thrown that away, and now I have multiple projects going at any given time. And I actually bought these little project, ooh, I have one right here, these little project boxes, so I keep everything um in those. And so really I kind of have a mental tally of what I've got going on. Like I'm doing a Cotton Cuts mystery quilt, Libs Elliott's blue block of the month, and then like my Skulliver and the Swip. And really it's like, one, what am I in the mood to do? Am I in the mood to foundation paper piece, traditionally piece, iron? And then two, like, what can I get done before my kids are requiring, all that care that they need. So if I have just a few minutes, I'll maybe work on my whip that needs ironing, or if I have more time, I'll pull out Skulliver. So just depends on my mood and how much time I have.
Right. And that's pretty much the way it is. My husband said if we lose anybody, we've been knocked off. We're under severe
Oh,
weather and it's just hit our area. So if we
right.
lose you or we get booted, I'm sorry. Um, let me see. Sandy, you can do light curves with walking foot. Yes. Let me see. I want to make sure I not miss anybody else. Well, lots here today. Yes, Rita. Um, do quilting, colorblind quilter. Yes, they're talking. Let me see. I want to make sure anybody has good questions, please ask. What can I do before the kids are killing each other?
You got that right, Zaza.
Yes. What can I get done before they finish the whippings?
Yes. Can
So
hear
as
them
far
always
as like
screaming in the distance.
you get to the fabric store or wherever you have your pattern in hand, do you pick your pattern and then your colors or your fabric line, or do you go in and let the fabric speak to you and come home and hope you find the pattern?
So I don't have like a large stash of patterns or fabric. So, and actually now recently I've started writing my own quilt patterns and designing my own quilts. So typically now before I start a big project, I will have designed it and then kind of know what colors I'm using before I go and buy them. And since I primarily use Kona solids, I kind of already know what I'm buying and I usually buy them online. So definitely I buy the fabric for the pattern versus letting the fabric speak to me.
Right, and that makes sense. It totally does. Now, you said you're getting into pattern writing. What kind of patterns in particular?
So
And do
I
you
have
do EQ8 or do you have different method?
So I have been I've just written two patterns that are mostly curves. Actually, that one behind me is one of them. It's a baby size of one of them. And I use Adobe Illustrator primarily to design them. I do have EQ8 and I love EQ8, and I use it to design like EPP blocks. I design EPP blocks to print on my Cricut and then make them. But for the big quilts, I've been using Adobe Illustrator.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
So
really
you
fun.
said you've got two under your belt now?
Yes, yeah. I took a pattern writing course last year through Alderwood Studio, the Pattern Writing Academy. And yeah, and I've published two, and my third one is mostly written. It needs some revisions, but it's in the
Oh,
process.
so
Yeah.
cool. Mimi's Sewing Station. How long have you been quilting?
I have been quilting since 2015, so 10 years.
Oh, congrats. As soon as I picked up the phone, they would start as well. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm late. Let me see. So, Tasha, when you design, say, a block, then make the block and decide, is it what you wanted, or what do you do with the block?
You mean like having a pile of blocks that you've made, but you don't know what you want to do with them yet? Like I wouldn't know anything about that, Rita.
Rita's too cute, is she not?
So so what I think I'm going to do, this is an idea, we're gonna have to see the time. I think I'm gonna take some of my orphan blocks, and because I do just like making blocks sometimes, and I'm gonna make them into hot pads for my family for Christmas this year and for myself.
Oh,
So I think that's what I'm going to do with some of my
that's
extra blocks.
ingenious.
I also put
Love
one on
it.
the back of a hoodie, so if it's a nice enough block, I'll put it on a piece of clothing.
Have you put it on a pair of jeans yet? Like on a pant leg?
I have not, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Are you able to come down for QuiltCon?
I am strongly going to try to work that out. It's like I'm not a big I don't really like to fly, but it's about a 12-hour drive for me, which isn't I'm not mad about that. So I do think I'm going to try to come down
Janine,
for
I
QuiltCon.
believe she'll tell you tomorrow. Her and Richard are driving. Just saying.
Oh,
Just shh.
maybe I'll be in the back seat. I don't
Yeah. All you
know.
have to do is say, drive by my house. I jump in. I'm not in, I'm just saying. Happy early birthday from Donnell.
Thank you.
Going 17th.
It's a big one for me this year.
Uh-oh. What,
I'm turning
30?
40. I'm turning 40.
Oh my.
But thank
No
you.
way. My husband said you're still a pup. Yes, or do you not like the blog? The blogs that you create, are they ones you just don't like after you've seen them? Or is it ones that you just didn't like the colors? They're asking.
Um, so sometimes I'll make blocks because like it's because I think it looks cool, or I bought like this EQ8 block-based plus software, and I love like flipping through there and looking through box from history or whatever. But then like I said, I don't really like to make repeat making a bunch of blocks. So like I'm not a type of person that's gonna make a quilt of the same block over and over again. Or at least I'm not gonna start one like that, I don't think, in the near future. So it's really like, oh, I made it, I scratched that itch. I get that like, dopamine hit from making that block, and then I'm like, I don't want to make a full quilt out of it. So I have thought about just collecting them and then making a quilt of all of the quilt
Like a
blocks I
scrappy
made.
quilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Like we're doing a scrap challenge right now. Just trying to, and it's a squirrel sampler.
Oh, ooh, I like the
So
sounds of that.
yeah, I have to fill you in on that, or Janine can fill you in. That's
Yes.
fun. Let me see. Oh, Donna, I never thought of that. I could use a block to cover a hole in my jeans. Yes.
That
I'm
sounds good.
telling you, it's ingenious. You know, I I'm just a mess. I'm telling you, that's all I have. I'm a mess. Um, I'll put a patch or a block anywhere. I don't care. I
Like
love that.
honestly, it keeps life fun.
Yeah, and people come up, hey, I like that block. What is it? It's on my right cheek. And let me see. And I have because you put them everywhere. You don't know where they're at.
Right.
You don't remember what that block is. Can you tell me what it looks like?
Yeah.
I liked it because it's blue. What more can I
Right.
say? So let me see. Everybody's wishing you a happy early birthday.
Thank you.
What would your one takeaway be? Um, LOL. Who let the squirrels out? I know, right? Janine opened my door a squirrel tonight, and I will throw her under the bus. It's not Dave tonight. It is Janine. She mentioned, ooh, jeans. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Be surprised how many you'll see them at QuiltCon if you come.
Yeah,
People's diet, it's so creative.
I was looking at some of the stuff people wore to this year's QuiltCon. Very talented makers out
Oh,
there.
that's the place you showcase your work.
I see that. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
really fun. I really hope I get to go
An
next year.
OCD, super organized, tiny mess Donna. Yes. They all laugh at me. They say I'm organized. Just I'm on vacation, no bosses. Tell us about the blue fan block behind you, Tasha.
Oh, I would love to. So I started because I'm trying to remember what the name of this is called, but I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, I
We're going to
started
call it the
because
blue fan block behind you.
yes, I started because I bought that EQ8 software and I absolutely love it. I started this well, I have the second video filmed, but I haven't edited it yet. But I started using a random number generator to make quilt blocks out of the software, and this one was actually from published originally in the 1800s. If you are really interested, you can go to my channel, and I think there's like it's called a look into the 1800s or something, and that's what this quilt block is. So I was just picking random quilt blocks, and actually that's what this one is too, is another one of those random ones that I made.
You're
Um,
not fun.
and so yeah, I get the dopamine hit from making one of them, but I wouldn't want to make a bunch of them. So I had to come up with a creative way to make this block because while the block exists in the software, it doesn't like exactly you have to be a little creative sometimes and figure out how you want to make
Right.
it. So it's pretty cool though that someone, I think it's so fun that I can find that software, find that block, and to think about somebody in the 1800s making that block and then I'm making it today, it just,
Right. And they're not selling it on our domestics.
right,
They're probably sitting there in a chair somewhere,
right.
rocking and stitching. I go back into all the quilt books. Janine will have to give you the name of them tomorrow. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but we read a quilt book series. And to listen to it didn't do the book justice, but it talked about the old days, way back when, and how the quilts saved people's lives. There's no other way of putting it. Mm, I, I'm a book nerd. I think Tasha likes pink. No way. You can't tell at
Guilty.
all. No way. She does not like pink. Quit.
It's so funny too, because I used to be like, I need to exit out of my comfort zone. And then I was like, you know what? Just if you like pink, just make pink. Like, who cares? Like, do what
Yeah,
you
what are they
want.
going to do? Ground you? Elm
Yeah.
Creek quilts. I drew blank.
Elm
Yes,
Creek
Elm Creek
quilts.
quilts. It's a whole collection. There's 26 books.
Oh, no kidding.
And I'm telling you, when you pick one up, you can't put them down. So
Huh.
do that as your summer reading.
I might just do that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes, I heard it. Okay.
It's
Joe's
thunder.
like, did you hear that? It's right above the house. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh.
I heard that. It's okay. It's okay. My heart's going. So, where can you see yourself, say in 5 years with your channel?
So
I got ahead of myself. What made you start a channel, and then where can you see yourself in, say, 5 years?
so the channel was born because my poor husband was like, Tasha, I love you dearly, but you're a little this is a lot of talk about quilts, and I'm not super like interested in
I
quilts.
don't want to talk to you about it. Find
Yeah,
friends.
like he was just like, I could just tell. Like I made him go to quilt shows with me, and this was like kind of before I was like really in the guilds, and now I've kind of found my people a little bit. But so I just love talking about it, and I could just see he's just like tortured. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try a YouTube channel and see if anybody out there will listen to me talk about quilts. And I just love that there are people out there who just love listening to me blab about quilts each and every week. So I appreciate
We're
that, Jay.
finding our way,
Yes.
and that's
And
what's fun
so
about it.
I would love like my real, definitely continue with the YouTube channel. I don't have tons of time to dedicate to the channel, so I'm trying to figure out a routine to get out some more regular videos, but I think it's really just going to be like, oh, I made this quilt and let me show it off. Like I don't see tutorials any, I'll do a couple little curve tutorials so that if somebody buys one of my patterns, they can, see my method of making curves. But other than that, I just feel like it's just going to be me sharing my journey, how I fit it in the pockets of my day. And my ultimate like business goal for the channel would be I'm getting really close to being monetized, and I would just love for the channel to pay for the software that I use to design the quilt patterns. Like, that would be amazing if it could just like fund
Mesh.
itself. So yeah, I just, just hanging out with my
So,
friends.
are you in need of hours then?
Yes,
Watch
yes.
time? How
Yeah.
many more do you need?
Um, I believe I'm at 2,600 right now, so about 1,400.
Oh, you'll have that sooner rather than later,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sure.
excited. I feel like this is my year. I feel like it's gonna happen this year. So
Right, absolutely.
actually my channel just turned a year old. Like I think I published my first long form video at the beginning of April of last year. So
Right.
I'm
I
still
think
I'm
you
still in the beginnings
came,
of it.
yeah. I love your channel. Yep, she's transparent and sweet as tea. She's not a quilter. Yes, she is. So sweet of her. That's what I kept telling her, Donna. Yes, yes. Rome was not built in a day. Baby steps.
Yeah, I just enjoying the process. So, and
Yeah,
I'll just continue with the channel as long as it's fun, right? Like I got a day job, I got kids, I've got life, and this is really fun for me. And if for some reason it stops being fun, then
bye.
bye. Yeah, but I really enjoy it. So I plan on being around for a while.
I like the way it's not just our family, it's our tribe, you know? You
Yeah,
have your
exactly.
people, you know,
It's
and
just, and it's so nice that people, they show up and, we chat about their days and, you know, someone's folding laundry at work or whatever, and you just touch base each week with keeping up with everybody. And it's nice. Share your projects. And so it's a lot
right,
more than quilting, it's,
right. It's
yeah,
inspiring each other.
yeah, exactly.
We will get you out there, Tasha.
Ah, thank
Great.
you.
Yes. So if everybody could, and they have not subscribed to Tasha, please go over and check out her channel. Give her a shout out. Let her know Donna Sancho. She's going to be on right after we're done at 8 o'clock tonight. So I'm sure she would appreciate it. Let's get those watch hours for this young lady.
Oh,
So even when y'all sleep at night, put her channel on and let it play.
thank you.
Yes.
I'll talk you to
That's
sleep.
Life, Minions, and Shenanigans.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I was speaking of the book series. It's okay, I understand. So what I'm going to do is there any words of wisdom you would like to get to anybody that's getting into quilting, getting into starting a YouTube, what your takeaways, what you've learned?
Yeah, so I think my advice for a new quilter and a new YouTuber would be the exact same thing. New anything is just go out there and don't like perfection is the enemy. I think Chris tells me that from So the Distance. Like just get out there, get it done, get your quilt block put together, get that first video published. It is amazing looking at my first like the things I've learned from like publishing videos and editing videos or creating a quilt and from the next one you gain efficiencies in both. So I think it's just important to just to do it. And I know, like, if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, a lot of people are like, people can be like weird and cruel on the internet, but like, you
Yep.
are who you are, right? Like, who cares? Like, if you don't, there's a block button for a reason. I think I've only found really amazing people. And so I just, you just got to get started and you can't be scared or worried about what anybody's going to think about you, whether it's your quilt because it's got a little pleat, like, who cares? Or that you're using bright colors in your first quilt and they're making comments to you about how it's going to glow in the dark. Like, who cares? Just like be true to yourself and have fun, and
Yep.
you are who you are.
Yep. Absolutely. I tell you, take it with a grain of salt, you know? I
Yeah,
want to say I've removed very few comments,
very
but
few.
we have removed some rude ones. And life's a journey,
Yeah.
enjoy the ride.
And you only get like, I think for me, we've had like some loss in our family, like some, younger people, and it's just like you kind of like my dad always says like, aging is a privilege denied by many, and it's like it just
Absolute.
puts it in perspective, right? Like you literally only live once and you're going to be worried. Like I before I started my YouTube channel, I was like, "Oh my God, what if like someone from high school, like I'm almost 40 freaking years old.
And you're
What if
worried
someone
about
from
who
high
knows you
school
have a
sees and
channel.
thinks I'm a weirdo?" Like who gives a crap, Tasha? If somebody like who cares? Like, just do
I
it. Do
did
it.
one better. Well, you know how we all have those Facebook groups for our high school friends?
Yeah.
I dropped my link in. Hey guys, come see me. I
That's
don't
awesome. Here's
care.
what I've been up to. That's
Yeah,
funny. If they ever plan another reunion, I'll be like, well, once again, I'm not going to make it to the reunion, but if you want to see what I'm up to, here's my quilting.
yeah, yep. Drop the link.
Yep.
Let them see ya.
Yeah. So just, I
And
don't know.
tell
We
me
get in
when you're
our own
watching and I'll
way.
tell you hi.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna have
Um,
ice cream. See you later. Good night, Day.
nice
I
choice.
started my channel back in the early 2020s. It took me 5 years to finally say, okay, do the video. I get it. I totally get it. Glow in the dark, that's the whole point.
Yeah, and it was so
Might
funny
get
too,
up one
because
morning and find Donnell's made you a quilt.
I didn't even like realize at the time that it was kind of a dig that they were saying my quilt would glow in the dark. And then like I thought like stepped back and I was like, "Ooh, I don't think they like the colors I picked." And that was like their nice way of saying like you should change, but yeah,
Absolutely. Don't change for anybody. You be true to you.
yeah, go with your gut.
Don't conform to the world. You be
Yep.
true to you.
Yep,
That's
right.
we've been told, don't wear your faith so much. Don't do that. We're staying true to us,
Yep.
We
I follow
just
the
we don't
dopamine.
care.
Whatever makes my day, that's what I do.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'm going to cut the interview so that you can get over to your channel and get set up for your live. Is there any last minutes you want to say to anybody?
Well, I just want to thank you for having me on here. And see so many of my friends out there in the chat. And thanks for coming to hang out with me. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. And yeah, I'm excited to share more quilting with you all and watch you quilt and be part of the community. So thank you.
And the community is glad to have you, my friend.
Thank you.
You're an amazing creator, and we love to sit and watch you. And it's fun to see where, like, I started to now to where you've started to now. It's amazing to sit back and watch.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I know you're doing your thing too. That channel keeps on growing. Your squirrel
Uh,
army.
it's an everyday something. So if anybody wants to, don't forget, slip over to Tasha's here at 8 o'clock on her channel. And Tasha, once again, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you back here on my channel on Friday night. Bye,
I'm
guys.
live at 8. Mona was asking.